Mr. President, the Mansfield University community has gathered today to join with you in the celebration of the 155th commencement exercise. Join me in welcoming the Mansfield University class of 2020. Will the audience please stand for our national anthem? Please be seated. Good morning. I'm Dr. Jonathan Rothamel, President of the University Senate and Associate Professor of Political Science. 2020 has been one heck of a year so far, hasn't it? Well, this day might not look exactly what you expected it to be, and it may have come a few months later than what you expected. Nonetheless, today is your day. And nothing, not even a pandemic, can take away from the hard work that you put into accomplishing your academic goals. Our Mountie Nation is strong, and we are proud of you. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I will now introduce the rest of the platform party. I ask that you please hold your applause until all members of the platform party have been introduced. Dr. Scott Davis, Herald and Professor, Department of Natural Sciences. Dr. John Ulrich, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Mr. Anthony Mastriani, President, Student Government Association, Class of 2021. Ms. Casey Wood, Director of Alumni Relations, Class of 2002. Dr. Kathy Wright, Associate Provost and Dean, College of Natural and Social Sciences, Class of 1982. Mr. Steve McCloskey, Keynote Speaker and Sports Information Director, retired, Class of 1991. Dr. Charles Patterson, President. Let's have a round of applause for Platform Party. Now I'd like to introduce the President of Mansfield University, Dr. Charles Patterson. Dr. Patterson was named the 28th President of Mansfield University in March of 2019 by the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education Board of Governors. He took office on July 1st, 2019. Prior to being named President at Mansfield, Dr. Patterson served as the U.S. Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and as President, Vice President, and Dean within the University System of Georgia. President Patterson and First Lady Colleen Patterson have been a strong and consistent presence on the Mansfield University campus since their arrival. Please join me in welcoming President Patterson.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good morning, class of 2020, and welcome to what is hopefully the most unusual commencement ceremony exercise you will ever attend. This commencement may not have all the pomp and circumstance that graduates of the past have enjoyed, but this graduation is uniquely yours. It is your time to celebrate all that you have accomplished while at Mansfield University, as well as the adversity that you have overcome in the spring. Life is hard enough, even without a pandemic, but you have proven your resilience by getting to this point, despite the disruptions that you faced in the spring. Randy Posh, who was once a professor and co-author of the book The Last Lecture, stated this: "Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And experience is most often the valuable thing that you have to offer in life. Take what you have learned from this challenging and disruptive experience and combine this with the knowledge gained through the attainment of your degree, and apply this to your life as you move forward. On this special day, I extend to you my personal congratulations on your academic success. I would like to pay special tribute to our faculty, who are collectively the heart and soul of this university and who are individually mentors of these graduates before you today. Each graduate will have his or her own special story about a professor who's inspired them and whose interest influenced that student's success, not only in college, but in ways that will be appreciated even more as the future unfolds. Caring faculty, committed to the success of students, are a hallmark of Mansfield University. And to recognize our Emeritus faculty, please welcome our Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. John Ulrich.
Hello, everyone. Each member of the faculty who retires with 15 or more years of service may be considered for emeritus status. Emeritus status signifies the quality of the faculty member's service to the university has been deemed worthy of special recognition by the university's tenured faculty, the administration, and the Council of Trustees. We are pleased to honor the following faculty members who have recently been named faculty emeriti. Mr. Abe Goads, faculty member of the Business Department, granted emeritus status on May 29th, 2019. Dr. Howard Azari, faculty member of the Mathematics and Computer Information Science Department, granted emeritus status on November 20th, 2019. Dr. Bonnie Cupbay, faculty member in the art program, granted emeritus status on November 20th, 2019. Dr. Clarence Leinhard, faculty member in the math program, granted emeritus status on November 20th, 2019. And Dr. Martha Whitehouse, faculty member of the art program, granted emeritus status on November 20th, 2019. Please join me in acknowledging the faculty's achievements with a round of applause.
At this time, please join me in welcoming Ms. Casey Wood, class of 2002, and the Director of Alumni Relations, for a special greeting from the Alumni Association.
Thank you. Welcome home, graduates. Mr. President, distinguished faculty, staff, friends, and family, welcome to Mansfield University's 2020 commencement ceremony. Graduates, with so many changes and unknowns surrounding us on a daily basis, you should take comfort in the one constant that is found in each one of our hearts. Do you know what that is? It's the grit, the tenacity, the determination of being a Mansfield Mountaineer. In uncertain times such as these, it's the problem solvers, the do more with less people, the do it because it's the right thing to do people that will rise. In this is what Mounties do. We rise. We climb the hill to excellence no matter how rough the road or how many times we get knocked down. We rise to the challenge. We never throw in the towel. We look for opportunities, we seize opportunities, and we win. You are a part of a very special class and new members of a 30,000 person strong alumni association, the Mansfield University Alumni Association. You are about to embark on a lifetime of opportunities. Seize them with the red and black in your heart and continue to rise. Congratulations. We are so proud of each and every one of you. And remember, once a Mountie, always a Mountie. Congratulations. At this time, please help me welcome our student government president, Mr. Anthony. Please call him Tony. That's what I was said to refer to you. Tony Mastriani.
Good morning, Mansfield graduates. As I look out and see many faces that I know and some that I don't, I miss, when we were together and we had our time here. And I know that this ceremony, your senior year, isn't everything you wanted. And although these challenges seem insurmountable, I'm very thankful that our administration team here at Mansfield was able to make this happen here today. And as they say, graduating means you get to move on to bigger and better things in life. You get to get your own job, move on with your career, and start trying to pay back your student debt. I wish the best for everyone seeking a career and job in this job market in COVID-19. Because of this, the pandemic has made everything harder, but I know you all will triumph over these challenges. While I am not yet graduating, I am close with many of you here today, and I share a connection with you no matter how small. Whether you were just in a club that I was in, whether you were in a class, if I know you very personally, or just passing you through the hallway. Many of you were my coworkers as well, who I shared memories of happiness and joy with. You do not realize the impact you can make on another person at a small university like Mansfield. You have achieved great things here at Mansfield, regardless of how insignificant you feel that they are. I'm proud to call you all Mansfield alumni. And no matter where you go in life, where you find your calling, Mansfield will always have a piping hot pizza panini waiting for you at Jasmine's. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. It's now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today. Steve McCluskey was named Mansfield University's first full-time sports information director in 1988 and went on to become one of the most decorated athletic communications professionals in the country. He witnessed some of the greatest moments in Mountaineer athletic history and captured those events for all to enjoy in his award-winning writings. Up until his retirement in 2017, Steve mentored numerous students who went on to careers in all levels of sports information, including the NFL, ESPN, and all NCAA divisions. There are few that can match the love and passion that Steve has for his alma mater, earning him the name Mr. Mansfield. We are lucky to have him as a Mountie. Steve's love for Mansfield does not end at the borders of campus. Steve and I share a very deep belief that the university and the greater Mansfield community have a synergistic relationship and that we are stronger together when we act as one. Since his retirement from the university, Steve has continued connecting with the community and to campus through his service on the Borough Council. It is my pleasure to welcome this year's commencement speaker, a 1991 graduate of Mansfield University, Mr. Steve, Mr. Mansfield McCluskey.
Good morning. I came to Mansfield in 1971, and I graduated in 1991. But those 12 years I spent as a junior have some special memories in my brain. I was stunned when Dr. Patterson called and asked me to be the commencement speaker, but I was so remarkably pleased and happy. I love talking about Mansfield. I love talking about you. Mansfield University is a uniquely special place. And it's not because of its location, and it's not because of its buildings, but from 1857, Mansfield University and the people who have been part of this great institution have instilled a spirit that is unlike any other place on earth. As parents, we recognize that our jobs are to create memories in our children. We want them telling their children stories about growing up as they sit around during family reunions. I am so pleased that our university took the opportunity today to have this commencement ceremony, because you need this memory to live with you for the remainder of your life. For the graduates, it's a symbol of accomplishment. And for somebody who waited 20 years, I can understand how great that feels. More importantly, take a second and look around to your left and right and see the people that you have here with you. Your parents, your grandparents. Today is their day of reconciliation. Today is their graduation day, because they got you here. They did their job, and it's not an easy job to do. The pride that they feel today for your accomplishments can only be achieved when you have nurtured and raised someone to this point. For those parents and those families, congratulations. I sat in the audience last year when my daughter, Katie Grace, walked across that stage. And I have never felt a greater degree of pride and satisfaction in my life than I felt at that moment. I'm sure all of you are going to feel that in just a few moments. When I was asked to talk today, I really didn't know what to say. I have so many stories. This field, my life, the positive energy that flowed from here so many times for me and for Mansfield University. I thought, well, I'll talk about Carl Van Norman, the person who this field was named for. Carl Van Norman threw the very first forward pass in Mansfield University football history in 1906. His father was a professor at Mansfield State Normal School for 36 years. He met his wife here. His 3 children went here. He gave his life to making Mansfield a better place for the entirety of his life. And I thought, well, I'll talk about Helen Lutz. That's the field behind us. Helen Lutz created an opportunity for women to enjoy athletics at Mansfield that no one else could ever compare with. She dedicated her life to making life better for others. And I thought, that's a great theme, and that's really what we are. Mansfield's not an I place, Mansfield's a we place. We survive, we thrive, we do things because we realize we need each other in order to become great. Finally, as I got up, and I didn't really do this until we walked into the stadium. When I was here, my 29 years as an employee here, I spent my last 8 years in the office that's located right up here. So I looked over this field every day that I worked. And I had those memories flooding back to me of great accomplishments, of being here in 2013 when we opened up and put these lights in this field down, which was dedicated by students. And we had more than 10,000 people here, many of them alum, as Mansfield played Princeton in the first night football game since Mansfield hosted the very first night football game in 1892. And the headline the next day read, Mansfield beats Princeton. I love that headline. But of all those theories and everything else I've seen, I just want to share with you one short story. It's probably going to be longer than short, but I hope you enjoy it. As I was coming into the stadium and following everybody else out, I looked at those stairs. Now, those stairs don't look that long right now, but those stairs, when you go up and down those numerous times during the course of a day, those are long stairs. And they get longer on the way up than they do on the way down. They're also narrow, and they're steep. And I always had a respect and a little bit of fear for those stairs, because if I fell, and many times I was in a hurry and stumbled more than once, but if I fell, it was really, really going to hurt. In 2008, Mansfield University brought back football after a year's hiatus as our sprint football program. I was part of that with a number of other people, and it was a great day of my life. The day before that was supposed to happen, the Wall Street Journal came to Mansfield. And Mansfield University, in its quest to overcome adversity and return a program that was 113 years old because it was the right thing and the courageous thing to do, did a story. And they put it on the front page. I was incredibly excited about that. As you can probably see, I still am today. As I was preparing to come up to the university that morning to meet the Wall Street Journal, my daughter came downstairs, who at that time was 10 years old, Katie Grace, and said, "Dad, you need to come upstairs right away. There's something really, really, really wrong with Zach." Zach is my 8-year-old son at that time. So I sprinted up the stairs and came into our bedroom, and my wife, Pam, a 1991 Mansfield University graduate, was on the phone calling 911. She's an elementary teacher, so she was very calmly explaining the crisis that was unfolding in our lives. As I looked on the bed, I saw my son, and I didn't know if he's alive. His head was turned to the side. Foam was emanating out of his mouth. And his chest wasn't moving. He had had a seizure. And through a long series of hospital visits, we found out that my son had epilepsy. Stunned, absolutely stunned by it. But we were determined that Zach was going to have a normal life, and we made sure that he went to school. We made sure that he played sports. We made sure he did everything he did. But Zach had a fear. He didn't have a fear of having seizures, and he had seizures every day of his life for 12 years. He had a seizure he had a fear of being seen by having seizures. It's incredibly uncomfortable. Retarded his growth, made him less than he could be. But he made it through high school. And 2 years ago, after his graduation in 2017, he matriculated to Mansfield University. But he still had his seizures. And he struggled to go to class. And he didn't want to be seen by anyone having a seizure because he could take the aspect of the seizure, but he couldn't take the embarrassment of having it in front of people. He joined the sports information team, and he became part of the working staff here, and he kept on trying to be part of a normal life. One day, he was working a field hockey game here on this field, and he was in that press box. And Ryan McNamara, who's taking pictures here, was the sports information director at the time. And we had a rain delay. It was actually a lightning delay. I had dropped him off and I'd gone home. I got a call from Ryan that says, "You need to come up." Zach's collapsed. So I came up immediately, and Zach had a seizure. And the worst thing about it was he collapsed in front of everybody that was in the press box. Laid on the floor, hit his head off the floor, and he bounced up, and he was embarrassed because they called the trainer. Everybody gave him that attention. So I came up and I told Zach I would meet him at the gate and pick him up because I didn't want him to have to walk up those stairs because I feared those stairs. And Zach, after 12 years of suffering seizures, had determined that it was enough. He wasn't going to be fearful anymore. So Zach walked up those stairs. Now, as a parent, I wanted to sprint out of my car and put my arm around him and guide him up. But Zach refused to let me do that because he was going to make a change in his life. The biggest adversity that he ever faced, he was going to be afraid no more. He just wanted to be free of the fear. So we went down to, we had gone to Johns Hopkins and a number of other hospitals, but we ended up at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And they treated him for over 10 years. They could not find the source of the seizures. So Zach finally came down to the decision that medication couldn't help it. The only option remaining was surgery, brain surgery. So we went down. Pam and I couldn't make that determination because we felt that the brain surgery would change who he was, that he would no longer be our son, but someone else in our son's body. But Zach said he wanted to do that, so we went through the procedures, withdrew from school. And the day he withdrew from school, the next day, every person in South Hall sent him a card signed by them about your struggle, and we're behind you. He went in and they drilled 36 holes in his skull to put probes in to find out where this was. And they couldn't find it. So he had 12 more put in. And they couldn't find it. And miraculously, within hours of him telling him to pull the probes out and end the procedures, they found a pattern. I've never been so happy in my life to see him have seizures. They found the pattern. Now the decision process was, can we remove that part of your brain that they're emanating from? So if everybody will take your fist in your left hand and make a ball. Just make a fist and put it to the left side of your head. So my son Zach, you can put them down now, but my son Zachary, a Mansfield University student, determined that he was going to be free from fear. He made the determination that no matter what the cost, it was worth it to have a normal life, to be able to drive, to be free of the fear of seizures. That fist was how much of his brain they removed. They did that 51 weeks ago today. Zach McCluskey came back to school this last semester. And not only did he come back to school because of the support of this university, but Zach McCluskey made every class, including an 8:30 calculus class. Now, according to the provost who has reviewed my transcripts, he says that's the first time in male McCluskey history that milestone has been achieved in higher education. And he'd be correct. But Zach made that determination because he was no longer going to be controlled by fear. We're facing fear now in our lives. We all know that. We're sitting here with masks on and we're trying to be safe and we're trying to do the right thing. Zach is coming back to school. Full-time student. He got a 3.0 last time. Got his driver's license. And his mother cried tears of joy. But he's coming back. The day he came back, Dr. Patterson took time out of his schedule to personally welcome Zach back. And he said, Zach said that it's just so great to be a mountaineer again, to have a purpose again. During that whole period, thousands of Mansfield alumni were supporters of us. They made it happen for us, and they made Zach be able to come back here. So 2 years from now, I'll be sitting out in that audience, and I'll be watching Zach go across that stage. And he could only do that because of the support that he got here and the specialness and the uniqueness about this place called Mansfield. When you walk out of this stadium today, some of you will be walking out for the final time. And that saddens me because you won't come back and be part of what it is because life goes on. But I'm here to tell you, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you can leave Mansfield, but Mansfield University and the spirit of the mountaineer will never leave you. Congratulations to you all. You're part of the most exclusive and best fraternity in the world. Go Mounties!
Thank you, Steve, for a very personal and courageous message for our graduates today. It's my pleasure to introduce to you this year's outstanding senior, one of many nominated for this honor and distinction among the class of 2020. Our outstanding senior's academic accomplishments include conducting research involving the pervasiveness of microplastics and presenting that research at multiple conferences. Her goal is to contribute to the field of materials chemistry research involving nanoscience with renewable energy applications. Our outstanding senior is a chemistry major, and her plans include attending graduate school in the fall to obtain her PhD. And she has already been accepted by Vanderbilt University, Penn State University, Stony Brook University, and the University of Virginia. Mansfield University's outstanding senior for the class of 2020 is Miss Catherine Thompson. Ms. Thompson will join us at our 1 o'clock commencement ceremony, so please join me in a round of applause on Catherine's behalf.
Hi, I'm Kathy Wright. I'm the Associate Provost and Dean of the College of Natural and Social Sciences, and this is my favorite part of graduation. Will the candidates for all associate degrees please rise? Mr. President, it's a pleasure and privilege to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed all the requirements for the degrees and have been recommended by the Mansfield University faculty. Will the candidates please be seated? Will the candidates for all bachelor's degrees please rise? Mr. President, it's a pleasure and privilege to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed all the requirements for their degrees and have been recommended by the Mansfield University faculty. Will the candidates please be seated?
Will all the candidates please come forward at the direction of the marshals, which will escort you.
Caitlin M. Toole, cum laude. Megan L. Moffitt. Cassidy L. Smith. Heather M. Williams. Deanna L. Townsend. Mary K. Smith, cum laude. Jerome A. Spite. Todd E. Taylor, receiving special recognition from Senator Scarnati for his military service to our country. U.S. Marine Corps, PFC, he was deployed to South Korea in support of Operation Full Eagle 98. Logan J. Creech, cum laude. Sierra Marie L. Klein, cum laude. Sean P. Andres, cum laude. Joshua T. Brown. Sarah E. Ferguson. Amanda L. Grazier. Parker L. Deans. Megan M. George, summa cum laude. Mark T. McNeil. Courtney E. McCarter. Courtney is a second-generation graduate, with her mother, Terry Russell McCarter, 1991, graduating before her. James H. Nouse. James is a second-generation graduate with his mother, Michelle Grigas, 1990, graduating before him. Samantha Muscella, magna cum laude. Brianna N. McCaffrey, magna cum laude. Sierra D. Austin, summa cum laude. Rosemary E. Wargo, magna cum laude. Sydney J. Mistison, magna cum laude. Lindley M. Decker. Jaden G. DePalma, cum laude. Jordan C. Claypool. Alexis N. Biddle. Alexandria N. DiSalvatore, magna cum laude. Nicolette P. DiSalvatore, cum laude. Levi S. Krebs. Molly A. Sarup, magna cum laude. Kelly L. Oswald, magna cum laude. Alicia M. Sherman. Dylan W. Woodring. Stephanie M. Fry. Joshua A. Johnson, magna cum laude, receiving special recognition from Senator Scarnati for his military service to our country. U.S. Army Specialist, 28th ID Band in Torrance, Pennsylvania, 42R musician at the Army School of Music. Haley A. Beach. Megan M. Cross, magna cum laude. Tiffany N. Wirtz. Dominic C. Kirchhoff, magna cum laude. Tyler C. Krasney. Garrett T. Cook. Garrett is a second generation graduate with his father Tim Cook, 1994, and mother Angela Tickle Cook, 1993, graduating before him. Jameer T. Green. Zachary M. Sedun. Zachary is a second generation graduate with his father Mike Sedun, 1996, and mother Gail Fox Sedun, 1998, graduating before him. Bethany M. Weber. Anaya A. Harvin. Gabrielle E. Cuppet, magna cum laude. Gabrielle is a second generation graduate with her mother Ann Mitchell Cuppet, 1989, graduating before her. Michael P. Rell.
Mr. President, it is a pleasure and a privilege to present to you the candidates who have successfully completed all the requirements for their degrees and have been recommended by the Mansfield University faculty. I recommend them to you for the conferral of their degrees. Will the candidates for all degrees please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Board of Governors of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, and the Council of Trustees of Mansfield University, I hereby confer upon you the degree appropriate to the qualifications with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Graduates, it is now your privilege to move the tassel on your mortarboard from the right side to the left side, signifying your status as a graduate of Mansfield University. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Mansfield University Class of 2020.
Please rise for the singing of our alma mater.
Old Mansfield. Hail high upon the eastern hill, dear Mansfield, hail to